This is the AEW Dynamite July 30th, 2025 full show results video which takes place at Byline Bank Aragon Ballroom in Chicago, Illinois. The show starts with the AEW World Tag Team Titles Eliminator Tournament match between Young Bucks versus the Outrunners, and the finish of the match saw the Young Bucks hit Turbo Floyd with the TK driver to score the pinfall victory. After the match, Okada joined the Bucks in the ring and the trio continue beating down the Outrunners. Swerve Strickland's music then hits and he makes his way down to the ring along with Prince Nana. The Outrunners then gain the upper hand over the Bucks, then beat down Okada with Strickland. Strickland then hits the Swerve Stomp on the Elite, then Strickland returns to the ring to stand tall with the Outrunners. Backstage, Mark Briscoe's interview is cut short by Ricochet and GOA. Ricochet warns him to forget MJF and focus on tonight's match. Briscoe promises an ass-whooping, but Ricochet mocks him, calls him a loser, and walks off laughing. We then head to another backstage area, where MJF is cutting a promo. MJF brags about his Happy Gilmore 2 role before knocking on a door. Shelton Benjamin answers. MJF apologizes for Lashley's actions and suggests teaming up with MVP. Benjamin shuts it down, saying MVP's disgusted with him. When MJF claims he doesn't have time, Benjamin pulls out the fake watch MJF gave him, mocking it as a Temu special. He calls MJF a fraud, says they've been onto him for months, and reveals MVP was the only reason MJF wasn't already taken out. Benjamin tosses the watch and gives a cold thumbs down. You're out of the Hurt Syndicate. Tony Schiavone welcomes Christian Cage, who addresses being kicked out of the patriarchy at All In. Cage admits he's an asshole, one obsessed with becoming AEW World Champion at any cost. He says seeing his past at Revolution gave him feelings, and that vulnerability cost him everything. Cage mocks Nick Wayne, Mother Wayne, and Kip Sabian, calling them unfit to betray him. Turning to Cope, he questions if his words were really that bad, saying Cope was an opportunist too. Cage says, "You told me to find myself, maybe I did, maybe I didn't, we're different, but the same." Christian Cage says the patriarchy no longer wants a patriarch, but he's clawed out of worse before. He mocks Nick Wayne's Ring of Honor TV title reign, warning him that being AEW's new face means going through him first. Cage then disowns both Nick and Kip Sabian. We see Mother Wayne tries to slap him, he catches her hand, but it's a setup. While Cage watches Sabian, Nick sneaks in. Mother Wayne hands them chairs, and the duo delivers a brutal double concerto. Nick stares down Cage and coldly declares, "I disown you." Stokely Hathaway and FTR are backstage and Hathaway says he got Copeland banned from the building tonight and hopes to see him banned tomorrow on Collision, too. Hathaway hypes up FTR's match tomorrow with the Bang Bang Gang. The Young Bucks come in, and FTR shows them respect. FTR leaves, and Hathaway runs his mouth a bit, upsetting the Bucks in the process. The next match happened between Hangman Page versus Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. In the end, we see Page sends Moxley back in the ring for a buckshot lariat, but Moxley counters before Page turns it around for a deadeye. He then knocks the referee down in the process, then Marina Shafir hands the title to Moxley to lay out Page. Moxley then goes for a cover, but Page kicks out at 2. The referee then sees Shafir at ringside and immediately ejects her per the stipulation. Security then brings her and the Death Riders away through the crowd, where Darby hits the Death Riders with a dive from the opera box. Page then hits Moxley with a buckshot lariat, but Moxley goes for a sleeper after. Page then hits a deadeye on Moxley and hits another buckshot lariat to win the match by pinfall, and retain the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. The next match happened between Athena and Billy Starks versus Toni Storm and Alex Windsor. We see Athena and Starks drop Storm to the floor, but is quickly fought off by Windsor, who sends Starks back in the ring to get back on the attack. Athena then tags in for a double team and hits Windsor with a spinebuster. Starks then makes the tag for a double team with Athena on Windsor. This then gets Storm riled up, forcing the referee to intervene and allowing Starks to get even more damage in on Windsor before bringing her to the center of the ring. Windsor then fights back, but misses a discus punch when Starks evades but hits a headbutt to send her to the mat. Athena then manages to get a tag in and keeps Windsor away while Starks pulls Storm off the apron. In the end, we see Windsor sends Athena to the corner and uses the ropes for speed before hitting her with a lariat. She then hits a Liger Bomb for a near fall before Starks breaks it up. Storm then rushes in and gets attacked by Athena, who gets driven down hard for a cover by Windsor. This is then broken up by a Senton Atomico by Starks. A tag is then made to Storm and she goes off on Athena and Starks, who gets the tag in, but are sent to the mat with a Luthes press. This is then followed up by a German suplex, sending Starks to the corner. Storm then sets up for a hip attack just after Athena sneaks in a blind tag, then Athena hits Storm with the O-face for the pinfall victory. After the match, Starks sends Windsor into the barricade to keep her away, while Athena tells Storm that it's only a matter of time before she gets the title and that her time is forever. We then head to the back, where we hear from AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page, but he is quickly interrupted by MJF, who is upset about Page not wanting to defend the title against him unless he executes his world title contract. MJF then brings up Swerve Strickland to rile up Page, but this gets turned around on MJF when Page tells him that if he wants to go after the title he needs to face and beat Mark Briscoe, a man he has respected for over a decade. Then MJF just scoffs at this before walking away. We then head to another backstage area, where Willow Nightingale talks about getting a match made for Collision against Thekla. Nightingale then promises to take out all 8 legs of the Toxic Spider. In the main event of the show, we saw a match between Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe. In the end, we see Ricochet hit with a dropkick by Briscoe, who sets the chair up for a dive over the ropes. He then sends Ricochet back in the ring and keeps him down when Ricochet tries to fight back. Froggy Bow attempt is then cut off, and this allows Ricochet to hit the Vertigo. Ricochet then for a cover, but Briscoe manages to kick out at 2. Brody King and Bandito have had enough of the GOA involvement and they rush down to the ring to deal with them as Briscoe takes a series of strikes by Ricochet. Briscoe then sets Ricochet up for a J Driller. Ricochet then escapes, but takes a lariat instead, then Briscoe hits Ricochet with the J Driller for the pinfall victory. After the match, Briscoe has no time for a celebration as he grabs a mic to call out MJF for invoking his brother's name not just once but twice. He then says he has never felt like this, recognizing that his brother is up in heaven chillin' in that mansion. Briscoe then says he may never be forgiven for what he's going to do to MJF. Briscoe then says he is worried and he tells MJF to make his day and give him the match right here and right now. MJF's music then hits, but he doesn't make his way down to the ring. MJF instead appears on the big screen and says just because Briscoe sounds serious, it doesn't mean he has to take him seriously. MJF then informs Briscoe that they will have a singles match next week, but MJF sneaks up behind Briscoe and low blows him. MJF then asks who the coward is now after Hangman Adam Page called him such tonight and places his Dynamite diamond ring on his pinky, but Page makes his way down to the ring. Briscoe then looks to hit a J Driller on MJF, but MJF runs all the way up the ramp to avoid being hit with the move. Page and Mark then stand tall in the ring as the show comes to a close. How much you would rate this week's AEW Dynamite show? Tell me in the comments section. Do not forget to subscribe the channel, and thanks for watching.